Today, we're exposing the most dangerous carbohydrate in the UK food system. And no, it's not sugar. It's far more widespread, more hidden, and potentially more destructive. This ingredient spikes your blood sugar faster than glucose, drives weight gain and visceral fat, feeds harmful gut bacteria, and is flooding our kids' diets in shocking amounts. And yet it appears in no added sugar products, in baby foods, in Tesco's low-calorie beans, in your healthy crisps, and chances are it's in your kitchen right now. So what is it? It's a family of ultra-refined carbohydrates with names like maltodextrin, modified starch, corn flour, tapioca starch, dextrose. And the biggest trick? They don't have to list them as sugar. So you think you're being healthy, but you're actually eating spoonfuls of invisible starch, the kind that wrecks your blood sugar, fuels inflammation, and offers zero nutritional benefit. Let me show you what we're up against. This is the ingredient list from a real Tesco product, Tesco baked beans, the no added sugar version. Looks healthy, right? But they replaced sugar with maltodextrin and modified maize starch. So now you're getting just as many blood sugar spikes, but none of the honesty. Here's another. Kiddylicious Veggie Straws, a snack sold in Morrison's, labelled as a toddler-friendly veggie-based snack. Top ingredient? Potato starch, 30% of the product. Add in maltodextrin in the seasoning, and what do you get? A children's snack that's 63 grams carbs per 100 grams, but only 1 gram of that is sugar. The rest? Invisible starch. So smooth, so refined, it hits your bloodstream faster than sugar ever could. Now let's go down the crisp aisle. Pringles Original. Iconic, right? They're made from dehydrated potatoes, corn flour, rice flour, wheat starch, and maltodextrin. Basically, pure industrial starch and oil. And yet, zero sugar on the label. Here's the sick part. The UK food system is engineering its way around sugar laws by replacing it with starches that are metabolically just as harmful but legally invisible. Why should you care? Because this is not just a nutrition label trick. These starches trigger faster blood glucose spikes than table sugar. They feed the bad bacteria in your gut and wear down your immune system. And when eaten daily, which they are in thousands of products, they've been linked to insulin resistance, non-alcoholic fatty liver, inflammation across the body, gut lining damage, and even accelerated aging of arteries. NHS apps like the Food Scanner have flagged fizzy diet drinks and artificially sweetened snacks as great choices, despite being loaded with maltodextrin and chemical fillers. That's not health advice. That's corporate convenience disguised as guidance. UK toddlers, ages 2 to 5, now get 61% of their calories from ultra-processed foods. For teenagers, nearly 2/3 of daily calories. Even adults in the UK are now consuming over half their energy from ultra-processed meals and snacks. These foods don't just contain starch, they are built on it. Let me break it down. Potato waffles from Tesco, dried potato, added potato starch, and dextrose. Sainsbury's cooked sausages, only 70% meat. The rest is starch filler, rusk, and sugar. Cereal bars in lunchboxes, starch and sweeteners disguised under healthy oat branding. Even plant-based ready meals from M&S or Waitrose often contain 3+ starch thickeners per dish. So what's the catch? Why is starch in everything? Because it's cheap. Very cheap. Maltodextrin and modified starch cost pennies per kilo and bulk up products with no nutritional value. It gives manufacturers more profit, more shelf life, and a smoother texture. But you get empty calories, gut disruption, and fat around your organs. The ingredient that escapes labels. Let's get one thing clear. This isn't about potatoes from the allotment. This isn't about natural starch in lentils or brown rice. This is industrial starch, produced in labs, broken down, stripped of fibre, bleached, and chemically altered to absorb instantly into your bloodstream. And here's the real kicker. Food labels in the UK aren't required to separate sugar from starch. So when you see 16 grams carbs, 0 grams sugar, you think it's healthy, but 15 grams of that, it's starch, the invisible carb. No warning labels, no red flags, just a nutrient claim and a dose of industrial filler, right there in your kitchen. Let me paint the real picture. A parent buys 4 healthy items, all green traffic light labelled, for their child's lunch. Low-sugar yogurt, multi-grain cereal, baked beans, snack straws. But each one is packed with modified starch, maltodextrin, or glucose syrup. That child gets no red flag, but still exceeds their daily energy needs before tea. What does that mean for your wallet? More doctor visits, more energy crashes, more demand for specialist diet foods. And food companies still win, because they're feeding your family the cheapest calories on earth while slapping a health halo on the box. Who's letting this happen? You might be wondering, why? Why can brands swap sugar for starch and still wear no sugar labels? Why are NHS apps recommending snacks with maltodextrin? Why are toddlers in Britain eating more ultra-processed foods than any other European country? Here's the truth. The UK food system has legal loopholes wide enough to drive a delivery lorry through. As long as a product doesn't add simple sugars, they can say no added sugar, even if they bulked it out with dextrose or maltodextrin. The Food Standards Agency? They classify starches like maltodextrin as stabilizers or thickeners, not sugars, not sweeteners, not calories you need to watch. Even the soft drinks industry levy, the so-called sugar tax, only applies to added sugars. So what did drinks companies do? They swapped sugar for starch and walked away smiling. A 2025 review by Action on Sugar found that many sugar-reduced drinks simply replaced sugar with caloric maltodextrin, with zero impact on obesity rates. In other words, we cut one harmful ingredient and let them sneak in another. Now here's where it gets dark. Food marketing in the UK is designed to disarm your critical thinking. Here's how it works. Slap a no sugar badge on it, colour the traffic light label green, add a charity badge or school approved tick, keep the price under £2. Stock it at toddler eye level. Congratulations! Now you've got a high-margin starch bomb that parents feel good about buying. You think you're feeding your kids vegetables? You're feeding them maltodextrin and corporate PR. A parliamentary inquiry even called it out. "We are feeding our children to death," said one health expert, after showing how every green label product still overshot calories with filler starches. And not one of them triggered a red warning. Because starch doesn't count. But it's not just kids. Adults aren't immune either. You skip sugar in your tea. You cut out sweets. You choose healthy wraps or lentil crisps or protein bars. But what you don't know is your wrap has modified wheat starch. Your crisps are 80% starch plus oil. Your protein bar is glucose syrup, tapioca starch, and soy isolate. And your organic soup? Probably thickened with pre-gelatinized maize starch. By the end of the day, you've consumed dozens of grams of invisible carbohydrates, most of them engineered in labs to break down into sugar instantly. But you won't find it on the label. You'll just feel the crash, the cravings, the inflammation. And they now make up 55 to 75% of the calories in most ultra-processed foods. Which means the food industry has redefined food to include substances that wouldn't nourish a houseplant. And they've done it so convincingly that we don't just accept it, we serve it to our toddlers. So what can you do today to fight back? Here's your real food survival kit. Read the ingredients, not just the front label. If it says maltodextrin, glucose syrup, modified starch, leave it on the shelf. Watch for sneaky swaps. No sugar often means more starch. If carbs are high and sugars are low, ask, what are the other carbs? Swap UPFs for whole foods. Oats instead of cereal. Real yogurt plus fruit instead of kids' yogurt tubes. Plain beans instead of reduced sugar beans. Use the 5-ingredient rule. If it's got more than 5 unrecognizable ingredients, it's probably ultra-processed. Replace crisps with real snacks. Plain popcorn, oatcakes, fruit plus cheese, unsalted nuts, homemade veggie sticks. Don't fall for green labels. They hide starch bombs too. Look at energy per portion and ingredient types, not color coding. And most importantly, talk about it. With friends, with other parents, with schools, with the shop staff who think Tesco's healthy range is a win. Because the more people know this, the less power the processed food giants hold. This isn't a diet lecture. This is a wake-up call. You've been told to fear sugar. You've been taught to look for green lights and NHS badges. But behind it all, there's a different carb. Invisible, unlabeled, more aggressive, eating away at your health. The system won't warn you. The brands won't tell you. And the apps? They'll cheer you on for choosing no sugar while filling your child's gut with starch. Now you know. And that knowledge is stronger than their marketing. And if you want to watch another video like this one, click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.